Alright, what's up everybody? Back again today doing another video. You can see I got my Batman shirt on, and as you may have been able to pick up on if you've been watching other videos on my channel, that means we're about to talk about something DC related. And I know I'm a little late to the game here. I was working these past 3 weeks and I just was not able to make videos. So what happened DC related within the last 3 weeks? The Snyder Cut. That's exactly what it was. The Snyder Cut of Justice League premiered on HBO Max, and yeah, let's get into it. First off, I just gotta say, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It wasn't perfect, by any means, but I don't know. I mean, I'm struggling to give it a rating that I feel is positive enough without just over glorifying it. I would say a strong like 8.7 is what the Justice League movie is. I might even go so far as to just give it the 9 out of 10. It has a few flaws, but it's overall just I think it's the fact that it's such a huge improvement over the previous version that we got in 2017, and that's what makes me love it so much. Going into this, I did not think that the Snyder Cut was going to be that big of a deal. In one of my more just kind of talking on end videos with my buddy about different nerd topics, we kind of discussed the Snyder Cut a little bit, and I said that a lot of people think this is going to be like their answer. This is going to solve the problem of the live action DC movie franchise, cinematic universe. But I always brought up the point that Zack Snyder did Batman v Superman without he never stepped away from that. No one else came in and took over from him. Batman v Superman was 100% Zack Snyder, and it was not that great. It was a huge disappointment to people. And I know that there is the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman, and then there's the extended cut with like an extra 30 minutes. And those extra 30 minutes do help. There are some key scenes in there that make a lot more sense of the story, but it doesn't really make it better for me, in my opinion. I still think it was dumb. All the arbitrary slow motion scenes that they're just in there just to be in there. Superman watching, like, I get it, he wanted to have this dramatic moment where Superman's like seeing and talking to his human father, to Jonathan, but it's just like, why is some ghost of Superman's human father on this like Himalayan mountain just stacking rocks? What the fuck is going on here? The nightmare scene with Batman was not explained very well at all. It was just kind of chucked in there, just thrown right in there, and it's just kind of like, this is a dream, Like, how are we supposed to sit here and go, oh, he's having visions of the future? Visions of the future and dreams are two completely separate things. This is a dream. This dude's having dreams. Why does Batman all of a sudden have the power to dream the potential future? Where the fuck did that come from? And that was basically the gist of pretty much everything in the DC universe, the movie franchise universe, up till this point. When I'm talking about Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, that was everything that came out prior to the first version of Justice League. And we're sitting here through all of these movies just going, where the fuck is this going? Like, is it just me, or is this making like very little sense to any of us? Even hardcore DC fans were just like, where the fuck is he going with this? Turns out, if he had been allowed to finish his version of Justice League, which he is now, it's out, turns out he did know where the fuck he was going with it. But that's the thing, like, that's where he decided to try and do it different than Marvel. Marvel decided to build a cohesive story piece by piece from beginning to end. Zack Snyder's plan was like, look, I got this brilliant plan for a live action DC cinematic universe. It's going to be about like the first like phase, we'll use the word phase, it's what Marvel uses. The first phase is going to consist of about 5 movies. The first 4 are not going to make a lick of fucking sense. And then once you see the 5th one, you're going to be like, whoa, I'm so glad I stuck with this all the way to the 5th one. You can't do it like that. You can't. Because how long does it take to make a movie? Like 2 years roughly? So you're asking people to stick through the first 4 movies. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. You're asking people to stay on board with your franchise for like I don't know. If you're releasing 2 movies a year, you pretty much cut that in half. You're asking people to. The point is, you're asking people to stay on board with your franchise after the first movie, and after the second one, and after the third one, and after the fourth one, without them making a lick of sense, all on just blind faith that sooner or later you're going to bring this home and make fucking sense of it. No! Don't this like I love the Justice League Snyder cut, but I guess the main point I'm trying to make here is this was never meant to work in theaters. It was never going to work in theaters. It was never going to work in the traditional sense of creating a film franchise. It wasn't, because I don't even know if this is all Zack Snyder, but I want to say it was, because now that we have the Snyder cut, this is what is evidently clear. He was too dead set on just like, we're going to do this different than Marvel. Okay, Marvel built their universe up piece by piece. We're going to just fucking, they did, here's a little bit of it here, and here's a little bit of it here, and here's a little bit of it here. We're going to go barely anything, barely anything, barely anything. Justice League movie, just 4 hours of in-your-face fucking everything. Is it going to be awesome? Yes. But are you going to be a little like, why the fuck did you do it this way? Yeah, you also are. And I can't, like, as a consumer, as just a fan, I cannot view this and think of any plausible reason that they did it this way, or that he wanted to do it this way, other than to just be different. Fuck that. Do you understand how much further along we could be with our DC cinematic universe? If you'd have just done it the formulaic way that Marvel did it, I get it. When you break things down into scientific formulas and strategies and get really analytical and cold and calculating about it, then you don't really, it takes away the art. It takes away the art of it. I don't give a fuck about your art. Give me my film franchise that I want to watch. Like, I loved this movie, but I'm also kind of, in case you can't tell, I'm also kind of mad, because it's like, what? And a lot of people are going, this is why this movie is proof that we need to just trust directors. No, it's not. Because did his movie work? Is it awesome? Yes. Was it a good plan for a franchise? No, it was not. And the only reason he did it this way was to be different. That's the only fucking reason. And yeah, I'm just a little upset about it, because while this movie is great, I don't know where we're going to go from here with the DC Cinematic Universe, with the DCEU. I have no idea, because there are so many things in this movie that other movies that have come out since then have contradicted. Particularly, Wonder Woman 1984 was just a travesty. We should just strike that from the record. They had made, how many had they made? By the time Wonder Woman 1984 came out, we already had Batman v Superman, which she was in, and we had the first version of Justice League, which she was in. Neither movies she could fly. So why the fuck Patty Jenkins is over here going, you know what we should do? We should have, in 1984, way before those other two, we should have her discover the ability to fly. And then fans can just be like looking back on it like, well, then why the fuck didn't she use that? Fighting Doomsday, fighting Steppenwolf, why didn't she ever fly? So yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 does not work anymore, thanks with this Snyder cut. And to be honest, the Aquaman movie, which I actually kind of enjoyed, that does not work anymore, because Mera, aside from her having a completely different fucking accent in this movie, like in this movie, the Justice League movie, Snyder's version, she has a British accent, a thick English accent. In the Aquaman movie, that's gone. Also in the Snyder cut, she tells him that her parents were murdered during the wars, killed during the wars, and she was raised by Queen Atlanna. Queen Atlanna, Aquaman's mother, took her in. Her dad is straight up in the Aquaman movie. Her biological father is the king of this other underwater kingdom, other than Atlantis, and he's straight up in the movie. He's played by Dolph Lundgren, so that doesn't work anymore. So that's why I'm kind of irritated, because if he'd have just not been such a fucking idiot when it comes to, I gotta be different, I gotta be unique, I gotta do the artist thing. Fuck off. Follow the established formula. If I know that I go step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 in consecutive order, and I know that by following those steps, I'm going to make money and make people happy, fuck anything I want. I'm going to do that. I'm going to follow the fucking formula. But he didn't do it, and now we're in this just clusterfuck situation where it's like, damn, Justice League Snyder Cut was fucking awesome. I wish we could just move on from here, but how the fuck are we supposed to do that when we've got so many other DC movies out now that just blatantly contradict the fuck out of this? They won't do it. I know they won't do it because they're fucking morons. But the best way to move forward from here on would be simply every single movie we've released since the 2017 Justice League is stricken from the record. Fuck it all. Except Shazam. Shazam can still kind of work. But fuck. Unfortunately, fuck Aquaman. That's gone. And fuck Wonder Woman 1984. That thing was a piece of shit anyway. And then also probably go ahead and say fuck the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie. Like, everything since the 2017 version of Justice League, let's just fucking wipe it from the fucking record. And if we really want to try and keep Aquaman, it would just have to be, I think it's going to have to be re-edited. Just do some clever re-editing to where, like, that dude, the Dolph Lundgren dude is in the movie, but, like, edit out any reference to him being Mara's father, if that's possible. That'd be the only way. Otherwise, it's way too blatant of a just complete contradiction. So, and this is another reason why I think it's failing. It's because you got people like me over here who are dissecting this shit to this level, to this degree. And I'm sitting here going, this cannot work because this movie blatantly contradicts this movie, and it's supposed to take place. It's supposed to be one cohesive story, across, like, in the same fictional universe. And the people at Warner Brothers, I think, are going like, dude, it's some fucking comic book superhero shit. Like, why are you taking it so seriously? Because we do. That, you understand that's your target market, Warner Brothers? Warner Brothers, Zack Snyder, whoever the fuck is making these decisions. Do you understand that I am your target market? People who take this shit this fucking seriously are your target market. This is where your real money opportunity is. It's not with kids. I know you think it's with kids, but here's the difference. Kids don't have their own fucking bank accounts. All right? So you want to talk about making money? Please me and people like me. Cater to us. Do what the fuck we tell you to do. Put together focus groups, teams of people to just scour the internet and put together just evaluate everything out there and come to the conclusion, okay, based on everything that we've seen online, what people are talking about, what people are predicting and projecting, this is what we think people are most likely to respond to. Well, get analytical, get cold calculating about it, and figure this shit out. I don't give a fuck about your art. I don't give a fuck about your creative freedom. I don't give a fuck about your artistic expression. Make the movies for the fucking fans. Make the movies not for you, the movie maker. Make them for the people who ultimately pay you for them and pay you to have this job, which is fucking us. So, geez, that's my rant on that. And you're probably thinking, like, are we sure he really liked this movie? He seems pretty upset. It's because I liked it so much that I am upset. Because some fucking decisions have to be made now. It's like, either we're just going to, because this is an incredible opportunity to restart, to just kind of shake the Etch-a-Sketch a little bit on the DCEU and kind of, take a step back and go forward from a strong standpoint. I just don't know if they're gonna do it. I have so little faith in Warner Brothers and the people behind this DC shit. Patty Jenkins has shown she's a fucking moron with Wonder Woman 1984. Zack Snyder has redeemed himself a little bit, in my opinion, because this movie's fantastic, but he needs to get it through his head, like, we're not going to let you be different for the sake of being different. All right? Like, the film franchise, the DCEU, the blame for it failing can still solely be put on Zack Snyder's shoulders. Because let's think about this. The movies that are key to this overall arcing story are Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder, Batman v Superman, directed by Zack Snyder, and Justice League, directed by Zack Snyder. The only other one in there that is really of any consequence is Wonder Woman, her origin story during World War One. That was also directed by Patty Jenkins, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like that's nice. It's a good movie, but the ones that really create the overarching story of this phase, let's call it, are the three Zack Snyder films. And Snyder is just, he's over here just going, don't worry, I'm going to do it different than Marvel. Whereas Marvel slowly built things up piece by piece, just peppering a little bit in here, put a little bit of the story in here, put a little bit of the story in here. I'm going to go, no story, no story, no story. What the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? Oh, okay, all of a sudden I get it. You know? Like, fuck, man. The blame is still on him for this failing. Because Man of Steel in and of itself makes sense. It's really just, it still comes down to Batman v Superman. Now that I'm sitting here really just going through it in my head, it comes down to Batman v Superman. His big idea with Batman v Superman was, I'm going to make this, and it was called Dawn of Justice. It was basically just like, the point of this movie is to tease and set up for the Justice League movie, which is going to be huge. It's going to be awesome. Everyone's going to love it. Once you watch Justice League, everything's going to make total sense. You're going to be like, oh, okay, I see what he was going for. I see what we're getting at. That doesn't work. Hey, Zach, listen. So I see what you're trying to do. This movie A is a tease and build up for movie B. So it's supposed to be like, even if you don't understand what the fuck's going on after movie A, as long as you come back for movie B, you'll fucking get it. Guess what, motherfucker? People are not coming back for movie B if movie A just confuse the fuck out of them and piss them off. Do you understand that? There's a right way to do shit and there's a wrong way to do shit. I don't give a fuck how you feel about the right and wrong way. Your feelings don't fucking matter. Make the fucking movie for the fucking people paying for it. Do it the way that's gonna make us happy. Not you happy, us happy. Because we're the ones shelling out the fucking money. Fuck. Alright, now that I got that out of my system, I'm going to talk about the movie. So, it being 4 hours long was not a problem for me the first time that I watched it. I binge watched it the whole way through. I couldn't get enough. I was like, yes, please feed me more of this. Yes, let's go. More and more and more. Since watching it that first time, the 4 hour runtime is a little problematic. But it's not unbearable. The movie is broken up into 8 separate parts. It doesn't stop. It's not like Netflix where you have to kind of like, it asks you like, do you want to go to the next episode or starting next episode in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It doesn't do that. It's still one movie that will play consecutively. It's just at certain parts during the film, it fades to black and it comes up on the screen saying like part 3 with a subtitle or part 4 with a subtitle. These are there to kind of give you good breaking points. I think these were put there on purpose to kind of tell people like, hey, we get it. This is a 4 hour movie. It's kind of long. So we're going to make it easier on you. We're going to clearly tell you when is a good time to, take a bathroom break, get a snack, whatever you need to do. So that's a nice feature. The 4 hour long runtime also does allow us to get to know these more unknown characters a bit better. We learn a bit more about Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, the 3 that we have not been introduced to yet. And I really like all of their added scenes, especially Flash's. It's hilarious. Like the part with the hot dog, I thought that was funny. It was just DC's. I don't understand it, but they seem to be kind of good at doing unintentional humor. Like they're not trying to be funny, but it is funny. Anyway. So you do get more attention to detail with them, get a lot more backstory, especially with Cyborg. Cyborg, we got a lot more of Cyborg, showing him kind of coming to terms with his powers and what he can really do now that he is a cyborg. We saw a little of Atlantis. Atlantis is like totally different. Well, at least the Atlanteans are. What is it? Like the Atlantean guards that are guarding the mother box in Atlantis, they look nothing like Atlantean guards and soldiers from the Aquaman movie. The Aquaman movie had them wearing stuff that looked kind of like, it looked armory, but it looked almost kind of like advanced sci-fi techie at the same time. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, it just looks like straight up medieval armor. It doesn't look sci-fi high tech at all. I don't recall ever seeing. I think maybe one of them had like an Atlantean like laser gun, underwater gun. We saw Mara use her like water draining powers on Steppenwolf, and like at a certain point you see all the water coming out of his eyes, nose, and mouth. And at a certain point it stops being water and just starts straight up being blood she's pulling out of him because she's anything with water in it she's pulling out of him. That was pretty sweet. I hated how in Zack Snyder's version, if the Atlanteans don't summon like an air bubble pocket to stand in and talk, then they speak through like dolphin squeaks. At least that's the way I interpreted it watching it. I've been, ever since I first watched it, I've been trying to tell myself, like, that's not what that was. But I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Once again, Zach, if that was your idea, what the fuck are you doing? The fuck are you doing? Hey guys, I got an idea. If the Atlanteans are not in an air pocket or on the surface, then they have to communicate through dolphin squeak. I'd have slapped him. I'd have been like, cool, are you back to normal now? Great, let's go back to making this movie and not being fucking idiots. So, yeah, there, like I said, little shit like that. There's stuff in this movie that is not, makes it imperfect, but overall, like 9 out of 10. I'm going to go ahead and just give it the 9 out of 10. That's minor stuff that I can kind of look past. What else? Steppenwolf's redesign is great. It goes into a lot more detail showing like what his motivations are, why he's trying to get these mother boxes, why he's trying to conquer Earth. Spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. He's doing it because I guess in the past he attempted to betray Darkseid and steal his throne, and he failed. And as punishment, Darkseid exiled him and told him, you cannot come home until you've conquered some X number of worlds in my name. And they say at this point, like, Desaad, Darkseid's right-hand man, tells Steppenwolf, he's like, you still owe Darkseid 50,000 more worlds. But Darkseid's trying to make this plea. It's like, hey, but you know those mother boxes, those awesome mother box Unity weapons that you lost a long time ago? If I get them back, if I find them for you, and I conquer this world, let me come home. So that gives you a little more of like why he's doing, other than just like the generic, all conqueror, I will conquer because I conquer and that's what I do. Conqueror must conquer. Other than that shit from like the first version. In the first version, he maybe, I think one time in the movie, you heard him say for Darkseid. This, it's very clear that he's doing it for Darkseid and also to kind of save his own ass. So that was awesome. What else? Darkseid was great. I loved the way he looked. I loved the way he sounded when he talked. I'm not quite sure about all of the Apocalypse people, like the new gods of Apocalypse. I'm not sure about all of them being fucking just big and having these really weird alien looks. Like Steppenwolf was always supposed to look like a dude, just like a guy. In some instances he wore armor, but he was never really supposed to look like this weird horned alien from a Destiny video game. You know, like, so that, I don't know. I didn't hate it, but it's just kind of like, where is this coming from? I guess it's just to create the more of a cinematic impression of like, these are aliens from some other universe. And then Desaad, I honestly thought Desaad looked like that one dude from Ready Player One. The dude with like the skull in his chest and is like, always like saying smart ass shit to the main bad guy. If you've seen Ready Player One, you know what I'm talking about. That's what Desaad looked like, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. There are moments in this movie where the CGI and the motion capture really shine, and then there are other moments where it straight up just looks like a high quality video game cinematic. Like you're just like, that looks fake as hell. That looks fake as hell. I don't know. I guess Disney's CGI motion capture department is just a little bit up there more than Warner Brothers is. Either that or they're just not shelling out the money for it. But it was, for the most part, it was good. It didn't bother me that much. There were enough really good, cool parts to where it made up for the bad-looking parts. And now let's talk about all the different things that this movie is teasing. So, if we ever get to see any of it. If they go from here with this. So this movie ends off kind of on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. Darkseid has come to the realization, he's been informed that the anti-life equation is on Earth, and Steppenwolf was killed and defeated by the Justice League. So now Darkseid's like, assemble the armadas, we're going to go to Earth and do this the old-fashioned way. So Darkseid's a coming. Boom, that's one plot thread. Another one that was teased, overall Justice League wise, is the sort of like an Injustice. If anyone's played the Injustice video games, a plot line heavily inspired by that. It looks like it's being teased because the nightmare vision that Bruce Wayne had in Batman v Superman, we get more of it. And this is what I'm talking about with like Zack Snyder. If you just watch the next one, it'll all make sense. We got more of this nightmare scene. And now I can kind of see in my head, it's like, oh, I get it. Like, we're going to get a little bit of this each movie. And eventually, we got to come back for the next. There was nothing to indicate. Nothing about Batman v Superman or that nightmare scene in Batman v Superman told me that we were ever going to revisit that world ever again. So I was just kind of like, what the fuck is this? But no, it goes. And like my original suspicions about that nightmare scene were confirmed. Superman turned evil and became an ally of Darkseid because Lois Lane got killed on Batman's watch. I'm guessing she died, she got killed, and it was Bruce's fault. I don't think Bruce directly killed her, but I guarantee you it was his fault. Like, he let her die or he failed to save her, something like that. And she died, and that was it. Superman snapped and said, yo, Darkseid, looking at you, bro. And the two of them decided, fuck this Earth. And now Darkseid looks like he's probably gone from Earth now. He's gone to conquer the rest of the world, the multiverse or whatever. And he's just left Superman there as kind of like his lieutenant. He's like, cool, hold it down for me here while I go do other shit. And Superman's like, I got you, bro. Because Batman is leading a resistance consisting of Mera, Cyborg, Flash, Deathstroke, and the Joker. And I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the Joker in this. I like that they removed the tattoos. That was a good choice. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, probably very offensively and angrily, what you're doing wrong with the Joker. I'm going to be very blunt about it at first, but I will elaborate. So the blunt way, to be very frank, is you're doing him in a different way than Heath Ledger did the Joker. That's what the fuck's wrong with it. Let me explain that to you. There is a right way to do the Joker. There's one right way to do the Joker. I don't give a fuck what you think. There is one right way to do the Joker. The Joker is an established character with decades upon decades of precedent set down that establishes his character and who he is. So if you think like, I'm going to do like this new cool version of the Joker, it's going to be original. It's going to be an original take. People are going to love. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Follow the formula. Fuck you. The Joker is a set character, and there's a specific way he is meant to behave and act. And Heath Ledger personified that perfectly. The Joker is the dude where if you throw him off of a skyscraper and he's falling to his death, he just laughs about it. He does not give a fuck. He loves chaos, he loves anarchy, and he just wants to just fuck around, do crazy shit and blow shit up, murder people, and have a good laugh about it. He does not give a real fuck about anything. So every single time, like the whole idea that like he's helping Batman to fix the world, the Joker would not give a fuck that the world was screwed up. The Joker would be looking around at chaos, anarchy, apocalypse world and going, dude, this is like just for me. That's Joker's dream world, a world that's just like post-apocalyptic. There are no more laws. There are no more rules. Everything's gone to shit. Everything's just anarchy and chaos. That's Joker's dream world. That's his heaven. So why in the fuck he would be helping Batman try to fix it? I don't know. And then they did more of this shit where Bruce says something to him about Harley Quinn, and it pisses Joker off. I want you to tell you right now, Hollywood filmmakers who have anything to do with DC, anytime you portray the Joker actually giving a fuck about Harley Quinn, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. That's all it's. He never gave a fuck about her. She gave a fuck about him. She was obsessed with him, and he saw that as I can use and manipulate this girl for my benefit. Excuse me. And that's all he ever did. That's the extent of Joker's involvement with Harley Quinn. Maybe he fucked her for fun. I don't know. A couple times. Several times. I don't know. But the Joker does not genuinely care about, or definitely does not love, Harley Quinn. It's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. Stop. Just fucking stop doing it. Harley Quinn loved him. But her story arc and how she goes from being villain to sort of anti-hero is at a certain point, just like we hope most girls in abusive relationships do, she comes to realize this guy doesn't really give a fuck about me. I'm going to get out of here. And she goes and does her own thing. And that's when she transitions to be more of like an anti-hero. You can go that route all the live long day. But Joker getting mad because Batman said something to him about Harley Quinn, the Joker would just once again just laugh that off. He would just be like, I never gave a fuck about Harley Quinn. Fuck you, Bruce. And then also, his laugh. Jared Leto's Joker, his little ha, 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 hoo, hoo, ha. Fuck off with that. Do a real maniacal laugh. It just seems fake. It doesn't seem like he's genuinely laughing, like he's genuinely finding it funny. It seems like he's doing this forced fake laugh. It's not creepy. It's not scary. It's just annoying. Like, why? He's laughing like a fucking seagull. Like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop thinking that all of your ideas are great, guys. That's like everyone making DC movies, except apparently Zack Snyder. Apparently he knows what the fuck he's doing a little bit. Pretty much everyone else making DC movies, before you put any of your good ideas into action, get online and run them by some real DC comic book fans, some real hardcore DC fans, and then they'll tell you all about why your idea is probably fucking wrong. Because you all are fucking this up sometimes, I swear to God. Really liked Superman coming back, actually wearing the black suit. I liked his return a lot more in this one. I don't know why. It's pretty much the exact same return. I just liked it a lot more. I think the build up to him actually, like them activating the mother box and bringing him back, was better. It was more drawn out. I think they talked about it a little bit more. I liked how the Kryptonian ship, was advising them against this, almost like the Kryptonian ship has knowledge of the future somehow. Because I don't know if anyone caught this, but the whole time it was telling Barry and Cyborg, like, this action is irreversible, don't do it. And the ship, I don't know if it was the ship or the mother box. I want to say it was the ship, because the ship, I'll tell you in a second, it was the ship. It was definitely the ship. The ship was showing him visions of what would come to pass if they brought Superman back to life. And that's when you saw Darkseid murdering everybody, taking the mother boxes, conquering Earth, killing Lois Lane. Superman joins him. And then he fights his way through that mentally, and they do it anyway. They bring Superman back to life, and you hear the ship say, the future has been set in the present. And I was just like, oh shit. Oh. Like, I don't know how the Kryptonian ship has access to knowledge of the future, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. And what else? What else did I really enjoy? Wonder Woman was great as always. I mean, she did a lot of her stuff was just, what you'd expect it to be. They played it pretty safe with her, but I'm not upset about that. They just had her do what you would expect Wonder Woman to be doing in this movie. Flash. It might just be my favorite part, actually. When Flash discovers time travel through the use of the Speed Force. In case you all didn't catch that, when he's running, after they initially fail. They fail to, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1. Initially they fail to separate the mother boxes in time, and the Unity activates and just starts to obliterate the planet in a giant explosion that kills Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, just obliterates all of them, everything around them. When the force and the energy of that explosion hits Flash, who's a little, maybe like a mile away or so doing some Flash shit. When it hits him, his body and his powers react instinctively, and he taps into the Speed Force. Everything around him slows down, and then he starts to realize, I can run. As he's running towards the explosion, the epicenter of the explosion, you see he's running. The ground around him starts to reassemble. The buildings around him that the explosion had just detonated begin to reassemble. And as he gets closer and closer to the epicenter of where the explosion happened, you see like Superman and Batman and Cyborg, their bodies, all the blood and bones and muscle tissue start to reassemble, and you realize he's running backwards through time. Granted, only a few seconds, but he's running backwards through time, and I lost my fucking mind. I was just like, do your job, Flash! Yes! Fuck yes! Oh my god, that was amazing. Because that sets up the Flash movie, which has been teased and talked about online. Like, they're gonna do some variation of Flashpoint. They just are. We know that at this point, and that sets up for that, because now he has discovered his ability to travel through time, and he's gonna start. I can tell this is what's gonna give him the idea. Like, I wonder how far back I could go. I wonder if I could go so far back that I saved my mom from dying. You know, that kind of shit. So that's very exciting. Overall, guys, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. I've made my point pretty clear on how I feel about this movie. I loved it. 9 out of 10. I'm just really pissed off that it went this way. That it's 2021, and if we want to do a further franchise of this, we kind of got to take a step. We got basically everything that's come out since the 2017 Justice League has to be just wiped clean from the board, and we got to start fresh going off this Zack Snyder cut. I don't think they're going to do that, which makes me sad, and I hope they do. Trust me, I definitely hope they do, and if they do it, they will get every single cent that they ask me for it. But every single cent, every single dollar, whatever. But I don't think they will. I hope they will, but I don't think they will. And if they don't, then, like I said, the blame still, it falls squarely on Zack Snyder's shoulders for trying to do it this way. Like, if Batman v Superman would have just, if he would have not tried to have Batman v Superman be such a fucking tease, like, he was way too concerned with it being this sort of like cliffhanger tease. If he'd have just been like, I'm gonna directly silver spoon feed the audience a bit more shit in Batman v Superman. If he'd have been a little bit more like, here you go. No, you don't have to think or work for this. Here you go. Here it is. If he'd have just spoon fed it to us a bit better in Batman v Superman, and then also come down off his high horse and not try to be such a fucking like artsy director with the whole Martha thing, all the obligatory slow-mo, not obligatory, the unnecessary arbitrary slow-mo scenes of just random shit. That's real quick. There is this, if anyone out there doubts that Zack Snyder is too obsessed with slow motion, in the Snyder Cut of Justice League, there is a slow motion scene of a cheeseburger falling off a table, and it zooms in to show a single sesame seed from that burger bun falling. Who the fuck cares? You're not brilliant. You're not artistic. You're not a genius. You're not creative. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck about a sesame seed, dude. Are you serious? Get back to the fucking story and the action. What the fuck are you doing? But anyway. Yeah, if he'd have just, I don't know, with Batman v Superman, if he'd have just been a little more like, okay, let's spoon feed them this story, let's get it out there, let's make sure they comprehend it and they know what's going on. But he was so concerned, I feel like, with he wanted people to go into Justice League being completely unaware of what was going to happen. He wanted it to be a total surprise of a thrill ride. So in order to do that, he couldn't give us too much in Batman v Superman. And then just like Lex Luthor's plan in Batman v Superman just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, I get wanting him to pit Superman and Batman against each other because he's hoping Batman can kill Superman because he doesn't like Superman because he has issues with, religion and his father and blah, blah, blah. But what the fuck was his plan with Doomsday? It's like, oh, dude, it's his backup plan in case Batman didn't go through with it. In case Batman didn't kill Superman, he made Doomsday to kill Superman. Okay, but then what was going to be his plan for getting rid of Doomsday? The kryptonite. He had kryptonite. No, he was hoping Batman would steal the kryptonite. That's why when he came into his lab and saw that it had been broken into by Batman and there was a batarang left in the case that had the kryptonite in it before, he kind of just sat there and smiled like, oh, cool, he stole it just like I wanted him to. So was his backup plan like, okay, Batman kills Superman. Failing that, Doomsday kills Superman. And then Batman with the kryptonite will kill Doomsday. Was that his plan? Because that's Lex Luthor putting a lot of faith in a lot of shit just going exactly the way he wants it to go. But anyway, these are all reasons why Batman v Superman is still not. It has cool action scenes. It has cool action scenes that look awesome, but it is not a good film. It's not a good movie. Justice League, however, is 9 out of 10. I hope they go from here. I hope they just wipe the slate from Justice League forward. I hope they just wipe the slate clean and they just start over going from this point, going from Snyder Cut of Justice League. I don't think they will, but I hope they will. 9 out of 10. Can't recommend you watch it enough. That should be the next fan petition. It's just like restart the DCEU from here, from the Snyder Cut. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's my giant long thought rant video on the Snyder Cut. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree, disagree, other points you might have, leave some comments below. Check out some of my other videos. Actually, please give a like to this video if you liked what you saw. And check out some of my other videos. Check out the channel. Check out the Facebook page of the Chad Nerd. Subscribe if you like. And other than that, I will see you guys next time.